So I've come over today because the station's all finished now on both sides, and I need to do a bit of tidy up, to be honest, because there's bits of wood everywhere and it's looking a little bit like a construction site in the Polytunnel. It's not too bad, but I want to have a little bit of a tidy up. I also want to go outside in a minute as well and have a look at the pallets as well, because I want to build a compost base. So let's go have a look at those now a sec. So outside I've got 14 pallets here, and they're all the same size, they're all uniform, and I'm going to be building a compost bay area. And I think I'm going to head up to see Tony at Simplified Gardening and take a bit of inspiration from his, because he's got a beautiful set of compost bays all at the front and he has so much success with his compost. I think I could take some inspiration from the design that he's got, so let's go. And I also want to call into a local garden centre as well, because a friend of mine have told me that they've got a few sheds built there now that might give me some inspiration, because I've explained the design that I kind of want, and they said there's a few in one of the garden centres that kind of sounds like what you want, but I don't think it will be, because that'll be a shed, you know, that's already been pre-made and fabricated. So I want to take a bit of inspiration from the sheds they've got, the sizes, and hopefully when I built mine I'll have an idea, a visual idea of, you know, how big it's going to be. And apparently there's a shed there with all windows on the front, so I'll pop in there as well at some point on the way back from Tony's. So let's go. So I've popped out to get a little bit of inspiration about my compost bays that I'm going to be building at the back of the plot. And who better to give me some advice is Tony at Simplified Gardening. Now, I've been to his plot a few times before, but we're going to pop round now, take some inspiration on how he built his compost bays, and then I'm going to adapt it to how I want it. But let's have a little look around. Whatever you want to do.
Do you want to ask me anything? Come on now.
Well, maybe just explain like how you built them, and then, because I'm probably going to do the same sort of thing, and
Okay. So these are pallet bays, and essentially they're just 3 pallets bolted together or screwed together, and you just extend them. So to make 2 bays you need another 2 pallets, and to make another 2 you make another 2 pallets. I make the fronts out of pallets, so I knock off the actual planks and use some of the backs, and they're made in 2 parts, and I'll show you on an empty one up there now. But they're great because they hold over a cubic metre of compost, and you need that to get the heat in the compost, and this stuff is pretty much ready now to go out, so that'll end up on some mats up there later so that I can make up the next batch. I've got a video coming very shortly about some rats that I buried in that one and that end one. All right, so and I wanted to see how quick it would actually get rid of those rats. And
they still have bones and all in there though?
All I found was 2 little pieces of bone and a bit of hair, and that was it out of both of them. There was 2 buried in here and 2 buried in there that a cat had got up here. Wow. And until this morning they all had like holes dug in the middle of them where I'd been digging out for those rats.
It looks good stuff though, doesn't it?
Yeah, the tops always, because I haven't had them covered this year, but the tops, you know, I mean, it's cold, but if I dig down in this, it is nice stuff, you know, it's ready to go. I mean, you know, it's ready, be fantastic going on the ground, you know. Yeah. And the great thing is, you know, you think about it, this is just all waste from the garden.
Yeah.
And what I do, so these 5 now are ready to go out, so they'll end up on some mats up there, and then I'll make the next batch here. But in the meantime, I'm storing stuff here. So this one, this is how those things are made, look. So I can just do half. Yeah. So that's how they're all done, all right? I just want to show you. Yeah, look. So under here is finished compost as well. So this was a half, this had sunk down halfway, but I ran out of room for storing because I normally store in those two. So I've just dumped the rest of the stuff that I need to store on top. But so basically half of that bay is finished as well. Yeah. So I've got about 5.5 ton, which is ready to go. In here, it's just all grass clippings and leaves off the top, and also this one. Okay, so effectively, I've got a gardening friend who mows old people's lawns. It's totally organic, so I haven't got to worry about anything. And over the year, he gives me all the grass cuttings, and I just dump them in these two. So at the bottom, it'll be quite slimy and what have you. But I've also got some footage of a video that I will release on showing that you can just stack grass clippings and still make compost. All right.
So how many bays have we got altogether? 9.
So there's 9 in total here.
Wow.
This one is just full of leaf mould. So this is the really good stuff.
And how long did it take for that?
So I ground this up in January of this year.
Oh wow.
So I collected it last autumn in bags. It was all sat on here in big 1 ton sacks.
I remember that, yeah.
I shredded 21 of them 1 ton sacks, and it filled this up here, and it filled it to here, and it still sank down to here. But effectively, this is finished leaf mould. As you can see, look how beautiful that is. And it's a resource that you can't buy, but it's fantastic for adding to your own compost mixes and things like that. Yeah. And if you're going to make leaf mould, these bins are ideal for it, because you just want to leave it open to the elements. Now, normally all of these are covered, but they were covered with like a plastic sheet and then a carpet, but I've taken that off them because the carpets are starting to rot, and I haven't bothered get any new ones because I've hardly been here since July. So this stuff here is called Proplex, and you can buy it at Wicks in the UK, but essentially it's just floor protection, hardwood floor protection, so when builders are in your house they don't damage your floors. And it's really cheap to buy, and what it does, it allows the protection from the timbers from all the wet compost, but also it helps with keeping the heat in and stuff. So like the temperatures on there, I want to see how quick I could get rid of those rats, and within 6 weeks they were gone. Wow. So you can see just how hot these bins are getting, and you need that, you need the cubic meter to get that heat.
Oh, cheers, Tone.
Right. So tunnel's been stripped out apart from the chilies, which are pretty much done in the background there. As you can see, I've got a few tropical stuff going on in here. All of those yuccas came off one tree. I was asked if I wanted it, and when I got there, there was a lady in Cardiff had a tree, and when I got there, there was no access into her back garden because she was surrounded in houses, and the only way to get it out of her house was via her front door, and this tree was 7 feet wide. Wow. In the narrowest section. So what I did was I cut all of the trunk and everything and cut the tree down, and it's produced all of these yuccas, and now I'm rooting them all. And basically what's going to happen with all of these is they're going to end up being part of a tropical garden. Oh, lovely. So I've got some palms and stuff here. I've got some other plants elsewhere. And so in here is those are being staged. Did you have
staging in here though? Have you taken?
Yeah, there's staging all down there, but I took it out last year so that I could put the aqua pots down there. And that's just stored away at the moment. As well, no, they've been here since the tunnels come in. Yeah, that's what I hang all my strings from for my tomatoes. They're brilliant for the tomatoes. And then I've done the same thing here for my chilies. Of course, you've got a bit of a bend here. So what I did was I chucked a couple of spare poles in, tied them off with a cable tie, and then I just screwed these to the pole, and these, so I'm still able to get two. They're at a slight angle, but I'm still able to get two good
what
things.
It's about 3 foot.
Yeah. There's all propagation cuttings. That's all fruit.
You don't do things by half, do you?
No, well, so there's a load of grape there. These are kiwi, red currant. That's more kiwi there. That's black currant. That's black currant. That's jostaberry.
I got a kiwi, I think.
Well, when they're rooted, it's no problem.
Yeah.
These are all blueberry. No, that's honeyberry. That's more grape. These are jostaberries.
I had jostaberry off when I first started the channel, remember?
You did.
They're growing really well now, actually.
Good. So there's quite a lot of cuttings there. There's some allium bulbs in these and some other bulbs that I'm planting, which are tropical stuff. So I'm just dry storing them up there.
My alliums now then, if I don't have a chance to plant them out, can I just put them in pots and then carry on in the polytunnel for a couple of months?
Mine are in there.
Yeah.
They're in there sat dry.
In spring, is there?
You can do, yeah. Yeah,
Mine.
mine.
Do that.
Um,
Where we can wait to put them yet? So I haven't finished the beds.
this is another ingredient I use for my
coffee?
compost. This is all coffee grounds.
Smell it, yeah.
And what I'm doing here is just drying it out, because obviously it comes to me so that was last week's, this is this week's. I get this amount every week.
Wow.
And so I'm just drying it off at the moment, because once it's fully dried I could just put it into a tub and use it as and when I want to use it.
Yeah.
It's about getting resources that'll do your garden good for free. Like you can see all along here, most of this is just still grass clippings. Yeah, look. This is what I mulch everything with. So it cuts down on the amount of water I use when I'm in the beds and stuff like that. There's no bare soil in here. So I'm just using this as a cold store at the moment. All of these are hardy, so they would deal with the UK winter outside. But what I'm doing at the moment is, because they got no root system, I'm just cold storing them in here and just trying to bring them on a little bit ready for this tropical garden when I get around to it.
Are they any good though?
Loads of strawberries off them.
Really?
Yeah. So they come in 5s, I think.
Yeah.
And I just bought 2 packs, and then I tied this pole to the top and slid that so it can't fall over.
Yeah.
So it's a way of tying it in.
Does it come with the tray thing at the bottom?
Yeah, it comes with the water tray at the bottom. Each 5 one does.
Oh, looking to buy one of them then.
So there's like 4 packs here, if you get my drift. But they were brilliant, and I only had them off Amazon. They were really cheap.
Yeah.
I think they were like £22 or something.
Good.
Yeah. So like the cold frames got all onions sat in them and beans and stuff. Like, it's just, like I said, I've hardly been here this year. I still haven't even gone through there yet.
Yeah. Is it autumn now?
It is autumn, but yeah, plenty of time.
So I'm back at the plot and the sun is actually beautiful here. It was a lot colder at Tony's, honestly. The barrels were all frozen over. So it just makes a difference by just traveling that little bit. Can make such a difference to the climate, you know, and it was freezing there, but the sun's here, it's warming up the tunnel a little bit. I'll open this up now to let a bit of the moisture out that obviously builds up in the tunnels, but there's lots to do. But I'm glad I went as well, because it made me look at how many I need, and I think I'm going to build 3, maybe 4 bays across the back of the plot when I build them. So I've got plenty of pallets, and I need to buy a few more items as well before I can start building the compost bays. But I like the design he's got. It's simple. It does the job for sure. I mean, the compost is beautiful on his plot. And so walking around, I also looked at his watering system as well. Like, he's got pipes that are under the ground that can filter water from one IBC to another IBC, and I kind of want to introduce some of that on the plot as well. So it's always good to pop around, you know, friends' allotments as well, and take some ideas and inspiration from things they've done as well. And Tony's got loads of little gadgets and loads of ideas on his plot, so go take a look at his channel. And yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing a few of the ideas that I've taken from today, and I also pinched some seeds from him as well. So yeah, I've got some more Monge 2s for next year, and also some red broad beans as well, which I'm gonna hopefully sow today. So let's get on with the jobs. Now, looking at those sheds as well at the garden centre, they're kind of the size I want, and also, you know, having all the doors on the front that can open, that's an idea as well that I'd like to take on, but I got to make sure that it's structurally sound, you know. So when I build it, you know, building a box with a door on the front and a little window, that's easy, but making sure all those doors open and gives it good ventilation, it's going to take a bit of time and designing as well, but I want it to be perfect. I want it to be the dream shed. So yeah, I guess I'm going to the drawing board. Now, if you haven't seen, I did put another bonus video out on Wednesday about all the staging. So if you haven't seen that, you're probably wondering, where's all this staging came from? So yeah, if you haven't seen it, I'll put it at the end of this video so that you can go and watch that as well. But I mentioned on there that First Tunnels were going to send me some extension poles. So they've sent me out the 4 extension poles for the staging. So now it'll be the same height as this side here. So I'm happy about that. So I'm going to try and fit those today as well. And yeah, there's a few jobs I want to do. And also another job is I picked up some taps as well that I want to fit to the barrel outside. Probably not that one. I might cut down another barrel. Not quite sure what to do really, but I'm going to have a look around the plot and have a look what barrels I've got and if I need to cut one down a little bit. And I want to fit one of these on the side. Now, I was going to add a little fitment and then just click a hose pipe on and let it run all out. But I thought, why don't I put a tap, which is exactly like the ones that you put on a barrel anyway. And I thought that I can turn it on and off if I need it to. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it at the top of the barrel as well, because I want it to be, when it's full to the top, it can overflow then and run out, you know, off the plot basically, because I don't want it to flood this part. So that's on the list today as well. So I've got a few little fitments, bits and bobs that I want to do to connect that. God, there's loads of little tiny jobs now as well. I'm going to take advantage of today. The sun is out, but I also want to top up one of the beds outside where the brassicas were. Plant some of these brassicas out. There's loads of little jobs. I've only got a few hours, but hopefully I can get some done. So let's go. I can feel there is somebody here, and he's watching over me tonight as he takes away my fears, lets me know there's a heaven up there. So I found this old barrel on the fig and olive plot that I had tucked away at the back. Now sometimes just proves that, you know, don't give everything away and keep it for a rainy day. Now this one has got a broken tap at the bottom here, but it is water sealed. But I could put one of those taps on there because I've got 2. So I'm glad I ordered a pack of 2. Now what I'm thinking of doing is I'm going to cut it to here. Now I don't need it as tall as this. I could dig down and put the barrel here, but the thing is, on this one, I struggled to get the watering can into this one anyway, and I don't want it as deep anyway. It's okay like this. So I think I'm going to lower it down to this one because there is a lip here, and that would be perfect if I want to put a net over and then add some elastic because it'll hold onto this. So let's cut this down, and then what I thought I might do is replace it with this one over here. And if you see, like, we've got a bit of ice as well, I guess. And then on the top of here then, where the lip is, I'll drill another hole similar to this one and fit another tap here so that once it comes to this, now don't get me wrong, you could probably have it that it just pours over the sides, but I want it that I can click a hose on and divert it from the plot. So we'll add another one here as well. So let's go. Yeah, he's reaching out his hand to me to wash away my tears. Oh, I know you and I praise you. Got my arms
they sing hallelujah.
So as you can see now, I've shortened the barrel down a bit. I can plot my watering cans in. I've also fitted 2 taps, so one at the bottom that I can just drain off if I need to empty this fully, otherwise how can I take this from you? Do you know what I mean? It's a bit difficult, so I've got one there to drain it out, and also one here then as well for an overflow, so I can click a fitment onto here, which I'll do now, just like so, and then the hose pipe then will run down here. Now it will be fitted tightly at the bottom of the polytunnel in time, but for now it'll run down here past the greenhouse and out of the plot into this big field, and there's actually a pond there as well, so perfect. So I'm glad that's done now. That's a job that has been niggling me a little bit, because I was worried about this filling up and then it overflowing onto the frame and constantly rotting in the polytunnel. So another job done. I feel like this is almost finished here now. You know, the barrel's in, I can dunk in now. I will, like I said, there's a lip here, so I'll get some elastic as well and put a net over there to cover it to stop the birds from falling in, because we don't want that. Another job ticked off. Now, if you're wondering about these taps, I'll put a link in the description for them. It's not affiliate or anything, but just what I found. And also you'll need a 25 drill bit here as well. So make sure you get that one, that's the right size one that you need. So there's still some remnants of snow here now. The Swedes are doing great. I'm sure they sweetened right up after that. I've still got a Cavolo Nero at the end here as well, and 2 Calabos cabbage, which I'm going to harvest today, I think. And then I'm going to put some nice compost out of my compost bay down on here, and then plant out some brassicas. Let's go. So I've popped in some purple kale, some red scarlet kale, some boar coal kale, 2 purple sprouting broccoli, and also 4 winter jewel cabbages over there. Now they're looking okay. The 2 kales are having a bit of a sulk, but hopefully they'll perk up now in the next couple of days with a bit of sun and all that water and nutrient in that soil. So hopefully the slugs won't have them. Please don't eat them. So altogether I've got some sprouting broccoli in this one at the front, and a couple of Brussels sprouts, elephant garlic, all my normal garlic, all the winter onions, a pile of Swede here, a Cavolo Nero here, and then all what I've just planted up here now. So there's a good bit in the ground now, but hopefully that it'll fare over the winter. But I'm gonna have a bit of a tidy up, I think, because yeah, there's plenty to do and plenty to tidy. Now this is an absolute eyesore here. Now my plot goes to here, to this fence, which I am going to take out. But this is definitely a project now for winter, is to start this. Now I've been excited about this ever since I took on this plot, because this is, I've never seen this, you know, grow anything. It's always been like a derelict plot that nobody really wanted. So I have got some weed membrane down to kill off a lot of the weeds. But I am gonna start putting beds all the way down. Now I've got these 2 here, which I think is gonna become the main entrance with an archway here. Not that tall, that tall. and then all the way down I'm going to dig everything out of here, all the old fruit bushes at the back of there as well. And yeah, and plant my raspberry canes maybe in one of the rows, and also I want to put in some bean structures, wider beds. There's lots planned for here as well, but it all takes time. Now, I've never been one to just show you the pretty parts and then say this is how it normally is, this is how gardening is. It's always perfect, and it always is, you know, just so, but it's not. There's always rubbish parts on your garden, rubbish parts in your plot, but they're jobs that will get done. So don't beat yourself up if you've got plenty to do over autumn and winter. But my advice would be, like I always say, try and get it done before spring, because that's full steam ahead then. So one thing I have got planned as well is that I want to add ridge bars all the way to these and have these hoops stable on the plot, because what happens is these tend to knock down when the wind blows them. They tend to dip in like this over here, and to be honest, the net starts getting a bit saggy then, and it touches the brassicas, and I'm worried then maybe and also snow as well, that pushes it down. So I'm thinking Christine over at the Little Green Shed Allotment channel, I'll put a link to her channel in the description. She's had ridge bars made by First Tunnels to go across here. Now, I've contacted First Tunnels as well, and I'm asking them to price up. How much would it be to have the ridge bars for all of this here on this side? So maybe 6 of those here, and maybe have some extension poles for one of these as well, so I can change this up a little bit as well. So when I don't have to use these, I'm hoping I can have taller hoops for here by having some extension poles. So yeah, I'll get back to you once they get back to me about the price and whether or not is in the budget. So speaking of extension poles, these are the ones that they've sent me. I'll open it up now and I'll show you, because these are to make that staging higher. So I think I might do that now and get that job done as well.
Young, and we didn't want to be exposed. Even though it was cold, we were never wearing proper clothes. Always trying to be cool, trying to be those bad guys, smoking cigarettes behind the school. Always trying to be cool, trying to be those bad guys, you know. I still think about what we had when we were younger. We were never running out of time. As long as we had each other, everything was black and white.
I'll show you what I did in here as well, where I extended them as well, so they're a lot higher now. And yeah, I'm really pleased that it was another job that was ticked off, because it wasn't level with the other side. And I have got plans later on in spring where I want them both level, but I'll show you that later on, because that's a job that's at the bottom of the list. So the sun is setting, I've ticked off a pile of jobs again, but snow apparently is on its way again. I'm Danny, and this is Grow Up.